Thank you. Mr. Rankin.
Well, thank you. Mr. Chair, I have to say that I am very shaken by what I've heard here today. I've been a lawyer for over 40 years. I've taught a generation of law students about the rule of law. And what I've heard today should make all Canadians extremely upset. Now, Ms. Wilson-Raybould, we're both from British Columbia. We've known each other for many years, and I need you to know that I believe you entirely. I need you to know that. And I want you to know as well that I very much admire your courage in being here and telling Canadians what you have experienced. Because I believe, if we believe you, which I do, that there is no other conclusion that one can reasonably draw, but that there was a sustained, consistent effort to interfere politically with the critical role that an Attorney General must play in our legal system. You have said, to quote back what you said, I experienced a consistent and sustained effort by many people within the government to seek to politically interfere in the exercise of prosecutorial discretion in my role as the Attorney General of Canada in an inappropriate effort to secure a deferred prosecution agreement. You talked of 10 phone calls, 10 meetings specifically about that. And then you talked about what I would call the consequences and threats if you didn't knuckle under. You said the potential for consequences and veiled threat if a deferred prosecution was not available to the SNC were brought to your attention during those conversations. So my question is this: how can Canadians, if they believe you, as I do, draw any other conclusion but that there was an attempt to politically interfere with your role as our independent Attorney General?
Well, thank you for the comments and the question, albeit I think the question is somewhat rhetorical. I sought in my testimony today to state facts, and in my testimony, I came to the conclusion, and throughout the 4 months, that there was a sustained effort, an attempt to politically interfere with my discretion as the Attorney General of Canada. It was inappropriate.
And on January the 11th, you said that the Friday before the cabinet shuffle, your former deputy minister was called by the clerk and told that the shuffle was happening, and that the deputy minister said one of the first conversations that the new minister will be expected to have with the prime minister would be on SNC Lavalin. So it appears to a reasonable person looking at that you were removed from your role because you would not change your mind, despite these persistent and consistent efforts to have you do so, and that because you didn't change your mind, you were fired from the role of Attorney General. That's what I take from the material. In other words, there appears to be a direct link from that conversation the day before the cabinet shuffle and what occurred, your removal from your role as Attorney General. That would appear to be what's said. Now, I have a question. After this what you call consistent and sustained pressure to reverse your decision, I'd like you to tell us a little bit more why you did not change your mind.
I did not change my mind to enter into or to issue a directive to the Director of Public Prosecutions on the matter of putting out an invitation to negotiate a remediation agreement with SNC, because I had the benefit of reading the Section 13 note, of conducting my own due diligence around the appropriateness of entering into a deferred prosecution agreement with SNC. I had the benefit of feedback and briefings from my departmental officials as well as my political staff. I made my mind up prior to the September 17th meeting. And for those people that know me, my decision-making process takes into account many views, and I welcome many views on public policy issues. And having taken into account many diverse views, knowing confidently my role, my independent role as the Attorney General, and the need to make a decision, and I know you are studying the Shawcross principles, and I don't want to get into talking about the Shawcross principles, but as the Attorney General, you make decisions with your judicial hat on, leaving aside political considerations or otherwise. I had determined that I was not going to issue a directive. It was inappropriate to interfere with the discretion of the Director of Public Prosecutions. And having made up my mind, taking into account all of the information, again, for those who know me, I was not going to change my mind.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. O'Connell?
Thank you. Thank you. So following up on some of those timeline questions, I just want to, it looks like in the response you didn't meet again with Jerry until December 5th in terms